Good day everyone. First, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Eliza May Arbasto. Today, I will discuss about varieties and registers of spoken and written language. The introduction of our discussion is language is the primary tool for human communication, encompassing both written and spoken forms. It allows individuals to express thoughts, emotions, and ideas in a structured and conventional way. This presentation explores the diverse forms of language, focusing on varieties and registers, which adaptations of language for specific contexts and purposes. Next, let's proceed to the two types of language. We have spoken language and written language. What is spoken language? Spoken language, a language produced by articulate sounds as opposed to a written language, and the written language is language that is produced through that use of symbols, letters. It is the generally more formal and structured. Varieties and registers of language are about using the right words and style depending on the situation. Different contexts require different ways of speaking or writing. Some are formal, while others are casual. Knowing how to adjust our language communicate effectively help us. The language variety refers to the various forms of language triggered by social factors. Language may change from region to region, from one social to close another, from individual to individual, and from situation to situation. These actual changes result in the varieties of language. Next, standard language. Standard language or standard variety can be defined as a version of a language that is commonly used by a population for public purposes such as education, media, and official communication. It often undergoes standardization, meaning it adheres to specific rules of grammar, pronunciation, and vocabulary. Next is dialect. A dialect is a specific form of language that is characterized by particular features of pronunciation, vocabulary, and grammar. Dialects often develop in different religions or among specific social groups, reflecting local culture and identity. And this is the examples of dialects in the Philippines. First, Ilocano. Common in the northern regions of Luzon, characterized by distinct pronunciation and grammar. Next is Waray, spoken in eastern Visayas, particularly in Samar and Leyte, featuring its own distinct vocabulary and expressions. Next is Cebuano, spoken in the Visayas and parts of Mindanao. It has its own unique vocabulary and expressions. And the ethnolect is a variety of language that is associated with a particular ethnic group. It often includes distinct vocabulary, pronunciation, and grammar that reflect the culture and identity of that group. Example of ethnolects in the Philippines is the Igorot ethnolect. The various languages spoken by the Igorot people in the Cordillera region, such as Kankanaay and Buntok. Next is Tausug ethnolect, spoken by the Tausug people in Sulu. This language has unique vocabulary and intentional patterns. Next is sociolect. A sociolect, also known as social dialect, a variety of language used by a socioeconomic class, a profession, an age group, or any social group. And the example of sociolect is youth language, professional jargon, and the meaning of the youth language is slang and expressions commonly used by younger generations, which may differ significantly from the language of older generations. As example is the flex, ghosting, or anything. Next is professional jargon, specialized vocabulary used with certain professions like medical terminology used by doctors or legal jargon used by lawyers. Example is biopsy in medicine and RO1, return of investment in business. Next is idiolect. An idiolect is the unique way an individual uses language, reflecting their personal speech patterns, vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, and grammar. Next, let's proceed to the varieties of English. World Englishes. In the previous years, you may have encountered the term World Englishes, or WE, or varieties of English in class. We actually stand for the localized varieties of English as they are used or spoken in certain areas. In the Asian context, the concept was introduced by Bra Kachru in his famous three concentric circles of Asian Englishes. The first is English as a native language, includes individuals who speak English as this first language. Second is English as second language, includes individuals who study English to integrate into the community of academic purposes. And lastly is English as foreign language, includes individuals who study English in a non-English speaking country, often for specific purposes like academic, travel, or business. The three concentric circles of English is inner circle, outer circle, expanding circle, and the meaning of the inner circle is English is used as native language, countries, United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. The outer circle is English is used as second language, Philippines, India, Singapore, Kenya, Ghana, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Sri Lanka. And the lastly is foreign language. The countries is China, Japan, Korea, Nepal, Indonesia, Israel, Saudi, Taiwan, and Russia. Next is the language registers. Language registers refers to the level of formality of speaking or writing a language. Think about the words you choose, your tone of voice, even your body language. You notice that you probably behave differently chatting with a friend that you would a formal meeting or occasion. This variation in formality, also called as stylistic variation, are known as registers in linguistics. Registers are determined by such factors as social occasion, context, purpose, and audiences. There are 5 types of language registers. The first is frozen, second is formal, third consultative, fourth is casual, and lastly is intimate. Lastly, the conclusion of our topic. Understanding the varieties and registers of language is crucial for effective communication. By recognizing the nuances of different forms of language, we can adapt our communication style to suit the context and audience. This awareness allows us to be more precise, engaging, and impactful in our interactions, fostering greater understanding and connection. Okay, thank you. That's all of my presentation for today. God bless everyone, and thank you for listening.